Where do you see silver going this year? Because we're just starting 2024. What do you think? I mean, is this going to be a good year for silver, bad year?
Buy your gold and silver online from SD Bullion. New customers get gold or silver at spot by visiting sdbullion.com/new.
Check out this inventory. We got tons of coins here, silver coins specifically, over at Harry's Coin Shop. And look at that. You got government specialty ounces, 28 bucks. It's a pretty good deal, Harry.
Not bad, not bad. The premiums have come down over time. The price of silver has not kept pace with the near record highs of gold. However, I expect silver to continue to be to represent a strong appeal for your viewers. It's far more popular than gold.
Speaking of gold, I was noticing you have these dos pesos. Those are kind of popular. I feel like those will go quick, huh?
It's good entry-level gold, and it's not just a bullion piece. These actually were circulating pieces in Mexico up till probably the late 1960s.
Really?
Yeah, my dad used to go drive from Northern California to Mexico, go to the banks and just over the counter buy these and come back. How did he bring gold in the early 60s with the law saying that you couldn't own gold? Well, that's another story.
We don't have to get into the specifics.
No.
The statute of limitations is passed.
They were in his hubcap.
Okay, there you go. By the way, what's up, Richard? Good to see you. Adrian, good to see you. And Bill, good to see you as well.
Good to see you.
What is this that we're looking at right here?
This is just something I pulled out of the back. First Majestic's a publicly traded silver mining company.
And they mine in Mexico.
And they mine in Mexico.
Goes with the theme here.
Exactly, yeah. And as you pointed out, you've got a Mexican eagle here. They're also listed on the Toronto Stock Exchange, so you got the maple leaf. It's a really nice 10-ounce medallion.
Yeah, that's super cool. So, okay, we got silver eagles, 29 bucks. We got rounds, 26 bucks. So it seems like, I don't know, if it was me stacking, if I just started, I'm probably leaning towards the rounds, Harry.
Absolutely. Think about it. If you're just starting and you're not really sure where you'd like to emphasize your stack, why not start at the lowest premium possible? Yeah. And that would be the rounds. And you can branch out and specialize later, or you may stick with rounds. We sell far, far more rounds than anything else in the silver.
I also think that the 1 ounce size is more appealing because, you know, you could get 10-ounce bars, 100-ounce bars, whatever. But if you need to sell and you have 1 ounce rounds, you can literally sell them one at a time.
Correct. 100-ounce bars, they're gorgeous. Everyone loves to hold them and look at them, but very few people buy them because it's a big chunk for one piece of silver, big investment.
Yeah, why wouldn't you just buy gold?
I would.
Yeah, and you could put it in your pocket. It's not gonna,
you can put that in your pocket too, but it might weigh you down a little.
It'll drop your pants.
Yes.
Yeah, you actually do have a 25-ounce bar, which that is a really rare size. We hardly ever see those.
Very unusual. We have a 25-ounce Atmex bar. We also have something that's not quite as seldom seen as the kilo. But again, that's still a big chunk. It's 32.15 troy ounces, and it's a lot of silver in one piece.
You know how I remember the kilo? 3, 2, 1, high five. So it's like counting down.
Make note of that, everybody.
Yeah, 3, 2, 1, high five. High five. Yeah, that's a kilo. But you also have this one here, which is this, it doesn't feel like
it's
10
a half
ounce.
troy pound.
So 6 ounces.
6 troy ounces.
That is so weird. Why do they do that? What's the deal with troy ounces and troy pounds?
Precious metals are measured in troy ounces, and a troy ounce is different than avoir du poids ounce, the way we buy our food. Those are 28 grams and change.
The standard ounce is 28.35 grams.
Okay, 28.35.
A troy ounce is 31.1 grams, so a troy ounce is a bit heavier than a regular ounce. Furthermore, a troy pound is 12 troy ounces, whereas an AV pound is 16 ounces. So it's a different measuring system, not too far off from one another, but definitely different.
Yeah, so when you're buying something like this, it's a half troy pound, you need to understand it's only 6 troy ounces, not 8. You would think it's 8 ounces because it's a half pound, but it's not.
Just to complicate the explanation a little further, you will find rounds like this that'll say half pound on it. And oftentimes when you weigh them, there'll be 8 regular ounces, which is really, it's like a mixed metaphor. It's a mess.
Yeah.
And they're really hard to sell because the troy ounces come out into be a weird fraction, and it's a very amateurish mistake that a refiner would make to do that.
Something you just got to melt down probably.
Usually.
Also, you have this really cool bar, minted from U.S. Strategic Stockpile Silver. Bill, what's the deal with these bars?
These were just privately issued. They have this very officious language on them that they're from this, U.S. Strategic Stockpile, USSA office. But this is more just the origin of the metal for this private minting. In the early 80s, the U.S. government was selling down the last remnants of its strategic stockpile of silver because Congress had determined it was no longer a strategic metal. They felt like there was enough available for the military if there was a war. They didn't need to warehouse it. So it was sold off, auctioned off, I presume, and whatever refiner this was got a hold of it. They're very popular because of that sort of Cold War history.
Yeah, they are cool. I know that the rounds, sometimes they trade at a premium, especially if they got nice toning and whatnot.
Definitely.
Yeah, very cool. All right, so we've seen the silver bars, we've seen the gold. Now we got to take a look at the junk silver, and you guys still have the special on Morgan dollars and Peace dollars.
We do. What we're actually, for whatever reason, we're a little light on right now are 90% silver half dollars.
Really?
We have some Kennedys, 1964s, and we have some 1982 commemorative Washington dollars.
Yeah.
But we're currently out of Franklin halves as well as Walking Liberty halves.
Interesting. So you've always, well, not always, but for the last few months been short on the Mercury dimes, but you have a few of them.
I bet they won't last the day, but we do have some today.
Yeah, but now you're seeing some of the older half dollars. You're just not getting any back, or they're selling quicker, or what?
I think the price dip in silver last week caused people to not want to sell, maybe hold out for another little bit of a spike. It's the best I can determine.
Well, speaking of spike in silver price, silver's actually down at the moment.
Yeah.
It's about $22.50, give or take. Right. Where do you see silver going this year? Because we're just starting 2024. It's a brand new year, and I actually want to get these guys' opinion on it too here in a sec. But what do you think? I mean, is this going to be a good year for silver, bad year?
I think it's going to be a good year, and the reason is the Federal Reserve is already talking about lowering interest rates in the spring. Yes, inflation's getting under control, but also it's an election year, and whomever's in office wants to see interest rates low. That just goes without saying. But when interest rates go down, the precious metals tend to go up because the safe haven of earning extra interest, say in the bank account, is diminished, and so gold and silver become perhaps a better safe haven in people's minds. That and all the trouble in the world doesn't seem to be easing whatsoever, and the metals seem to thrive on bad news.
Yeah, so there's a few factors that are kind of bullish for silver this year.
Yes.
I've thrown out, I think $32 is possible. What are your thoughts on price?
$32 is possible because it's certainly been there a couple times before.
Yeah.
However, if it does get to that point, the world and the economy is going to be in bad shape because it'll be a response to that. I think it's possible, but honestly, I'm more thinking, maybe mid-20s, just because of the easing of interest rates.
Yeah.
And if it goes to 32 or higher, then we have bigger problems.
Yeah, I think you're right. And if it does go to the mid-20s, that's not that far off. And last year, we saw $26 silver very briefly.
Right.
So it could certainly do it again this year.
But I'm thinking maybe it'll hold above those levels look how gold, even on a down day, gold, it's several weeks now hanging in there above $2,000. So it may be that, this is the new reality, and perhaps that'll be for silver as well, maybe in the mid 20s.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see, I guess. What do you think, Adrian? Harry's saying mid-20s for silver, and it could hold. Where do you see it going?
Yeah, it's been playing around in that mid 20 to upper 20, and then it's kind of been sitting at that mid 20 to lower 20
Right.
this past year. So yeah, I kind of side with what Harry's saying. It's, you know, I hope it goes up, right? Everybody that stacks some silver is like, hey, I want the prices to go up. But then what are you trading off? A lot more things are going to be going wrong in the world when we're going to see metals at those heights.
If silver goes to $100, we got real big problems.
Yeah, that means that everything else that you have that you're using from day to day is also going to be up.
What do you think, Bill? You're kind of the new guy here at the shop. What do you see for silver this year?
Yeah, I think gold's been hanging tough because of all the political risk in the world, like around the world, you know, because we sometimes think just of America, but if you're in other parts of the world, it's even dicier right now. So people have been going into gold, and silver's been lagging. So maybe this is the year silver catches up a little bit.
Yeah, it could be. What do you think, Richard? Is this the year silver catches up?
Crystal ball's a little hazy right now. I think all the three previous opinions are pretty good. I wouldn't know whether to say so or not myself, but it has a lot of potential.
And, you know, with gold, new all-time high, and silver now less than half of its all-time high, it feels like we're headed up. I mean, that's all I can really surmise.
Might be a good buying opportunity this year.
Yeah, especially with the little dip right now. I mean, it's only down, I think, about $0.33 for the day. But hey, I like to buy the dips. All right. Well, this was really fun, Harry.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thanks
the
for
time.
coming in.
Yeah,
Thanks, Silver
absolutely.
Giants.
Good to see you, Adrian. Good to see you, Bill.
Yeah, thank you. Good to meet you.
Yes, and good to see you again, Richard.